somewhere above the city light.
Good morning, YouTube. My name is Will. This is Enzo, my German Shepherd, and today we're going to be reviewing my 2017 Focus ST. Enzo and I got up early this morning, got the car all cleaned up, make it look nice, and the car's gone. Didn't know the wife had to go into work early, so we have no car for a few hours. We can shoot the video in a few hours when she gets home. However, Enzo, as you can see, he's all excited. He's ready to make a video, right, buddy? So, when life gives you lemons, we're gonna make lemonade. Our neighbor went out of town a couple days ago and they didn't have a chance to cut their grass before they left. I'm sure when they get back tonight, the first thing they're gonna do is cut the grass, but this will just make their life a little bit easier for them after traveling. Finally, which is no longer clean. It didn't even rain yesterday. Must have been some sort of puddle or something, who knows. Anyways, I've had this car, well, my wife and I have had this car for, it'll be a year next month. It's got just a little over 11,000 miles, so I wanted to wait a little while to do a review. This is the Kona Blue, which is a little bit more of I don't want to say rare, but I think it's a less common color. It is the ST2 package. Enzo thinks he's going for a ride again, I guess. So it does have the Recaro seats, but they are not the full leather, so they're not heated. It does have the Sony stereo. I think they all have sunroofs, I'm not really sure. It does have the upgraded wheels and unfortunately all-season tires, which I could have done without. This will make it easier. I just got the window sticker. So the ST2 package does include the Sync 3 Sony stereo, by Xeon HID headlights, which I actually did really want those. Power moonroof, sorry, not sunroof, and dual zone HVAC. Optionally, we had the 18-inch wheels that, I think they're 18-inch to begin with, but these are the mock aluminum with black pockets. And the front license plate bracket, which was no charge. And we don't have that on. And the 18-inch high-performance all-season tires, $30. Would have rather just had the summer tires, but whatever. So, base price $24,775, options $4,205, destination $875 for a grand total of $29,855. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this little strip here. I think it looks weird, especially when the car is driving. Like if I'm in front of it and I look back, it's too short. Plus, I'm just not a fan of those in general on cars. It does have like a fast key system, so you can just reach your hand back here and it will unlock. You can tap there to lock. All the windows are like one touch, which is nice. Our Lexus had that, but that's the only other car I've ever had that actually has that. Key fob, if you've never seen one, this thing, because of its shape, it's like impossible to hold onto. It just literally just falls out of your hands all the time. Other than the window tint, the only other, if you could call it a modification we have, is the ST dead plate that I ordered. It's actually just Velcroed on, so it's pretty nice, but there's no dead plate, which is odd. And these floor mats, they suck. I mean, this looks like it should be in like a Kia or something, I don't know. So other than that, that's really my only complaints. The seats are pretty good. So you do have a couple USB ports. You've got one there. You've got one down here. What's nice is they both will work for CarPlay. If you're not familiar with the STs or the RSs, you do have the factory gauges up here. I guess the boost gauge has changed. I had a buddy who had an older ST, so he was surprised that one went up to 30. It doesn't actually hit 30, but the gauge goes up to 30. I suspect that it had something to do with Ford knowing the RS was coming and just wanted to have one set of gauges. I definitely like that this is all black. This is nice up here. Super, super nice. It also matches down here. I hate this dash, but at least I don't have to touch it, really. Everything you touch is nice, so that's, you know, it feels good. It's got a pretty decent shut to it. Much better than the Evo, which granted the Evo is made out of aluminum and I think Play-Doh. I know some people complain about them. I actually like them. I mean, they're not as good as like the Evo X seats, but they're still really good seats. Way better than the non-Recaro option. Back seat, decent room. It's got like little knee pockets. That's kind of handy. I don't know that I've ever actually sat back here. Let's try. Yeah, I mean, I'm not very tall. I'm like 5'10" or something. So if you're really tall, it's not going to do so well, but I've got a lot of leg room, and this seat's way far back right now, so that's cool. I think if you're really tall, you're going to have plenty of leg room. The headroom might be an issue. It does fit Enzo, though, and that's really all that matters. And that's a key point in why we bought this car. 4 doors was really a must. Needs to be able to put Enzo in it. He doesn't ride in it that often, but I don't want a car where it's like really hard to put him in. The hatch is, aside from being a mess, it's a little smaller than I anticipated. First time we went to like Sam's, I was a little surprised. My dad had a 2001 Focus when they first came to the US, and definitely had more space back here. Also, this thing is, not this piece here, but how it connects is extremely cheap. These little fasteners here, these have fallen off a couple times. Thankfully, I found them. The other thing that's really odd, if you've ever owned a hatchback, you know that, you know, you can pull these out. Well, maybe. I'll try to do this one, you gotta pop it out. But it doesn't come out or in. You can do it, it's really tough, and I don't like to do it because it would rub up against this. Really, what you have to do is bring it in from the seats. So like fold the seats down and come in from the back or over the headrest. So that's a little odd. Actually, we've got an appointment later this week for the 10,000 mile service. I might, if I remember, might see if I can order a couple extras of those just to have. And then the one thing that, it's nice, but it's also kind of annoying, and it also contributes to why we have no storage, is that it has a full-size spare. Again, I mean, that's nice and all, and when if the unfortunate event should happen to where we need the spare, it'll be nice. I know, like when we went to Destin a couple years back in the Speed 3, we blew out a tire in like Alabama, and that was annoying because that kind of slowed us down, and also was a havoc trying to get it replaced because it was like a weird size or something. It was something weird. So yeah, I mean, that would be nice in that regards. And it's got the, you know, the sub, which I'll talk about the stereo more in a moment, but for a factory stereo and how little it intrudes in the hatch space and everything, I'm really happy with it. I have no desire to upgrade that, and it actually sounds pretty decent, unlike the FJ, which is just awful. I will be swapping some stuff in the FJ eventually. Now, unlike the RS, you don't get any fancy like Brembo brakes, but they are pretty good sized brakes. I mean, when you figure that this is an 18-inch wheel, I don't know what the size of these are, but they're pretty good. I'd venture to say they're as big as the brakes on the Evo, possibly even bigger. I don't know how many pistons they are. This is kind of one of those dumb things like that you don't think about, but it has the little extra mirror there in the corner. It's super helpful to have. I don't know why all cars don't have that. Blind spot monitor and all that stuff, yeah, whatever, that's fine. Just let me have a mirror so I can see. But I also hate buying those little tackle ones from like AutoZone. I don't like those. So the windshield wiper blades go outwards, if you've seen cars like that. What's funny is when you have them up like this, you can kind of get them out of order, and you could forget which one goes on top. If you put the passenger side on top by accident, as soon as you turn on the car, it will fix itself. So that's kind of cool. The motor. Not a big fan of the giant pieces of plastic over the motor. All right, so that takes care of most of the external and everything of the Focus. Enzo and I are going to load up, go for a drive, and we'll talk a little bit more about it in a moment. All right, buddy? Go for a ride? Yeah? Go for a ride? So if Enzo can be comfortable in these seats, you can be comfortable, because he's actually more comfortable in these seats than even the FJ. Let's talk about the seats. This is the S2 package, so it does have the Recaros. If you get the S3 package, ST3 package, you will also have the Recaros, except they're full leather, where these are just the partial. I like them. They're not my favorite seats. I'm more comfortable in the 8-9 Evo seats, these are actually bolstered a whole lot better. Now, they're not bolstered as good as the Evo X seats, but still, they are better in that regard than the 8s and 9s. Buddy, I think your blanket shifted just a bit. We gotta fix that. There we go. I wanna make sure his paws don't go into the leather. This is actually Enzo's first time riding in the front seat of the ST. He's ridden in the back seat several times. He rode in the front seat of the Evo X once when we brought him home. Right, buddy? Sat on Mom's lap. Yeah. I don't think you would fit on her lap now in the car. You need a much bigger, not even in the FJ. Might have to try. See if we can convince her to test. Not having the seats really kind of kills the look. The overall feel when you're driving it, even if you don't need the crazy bolstering, but it would definitely miss our turn. Missed the turn back there. Other things that are nice, it's nice to have the sunroof. I'm not a huge sunroof person. My wife likes them more, even though she keeps it closed most of the time. But she definitely likes them more than I do. I like them in like cars like this. I don't necessarily want it in an Evo. I wouldn't want it in like some super high performance type car. Not that I really think that that little bit of weight is affecting my day-to-day driving. It's just, if you're gonna do it, you know, do it right, I guess. Steering wheel is super nice. You get this no matter what. It's got the flat bottom steering wheel. Flat bottoms are kind of like the new trend, but I like it. It definitely gives a good look to the car. And for somebody like me, it's actually kind of nice. I like to be a little bit closer when I'm driving a manual. Buddy, did you go too far? You got to pull over here and fix your blanket. Let me fix this. Hold on. There we go. There we go. I've got what could only be slobber on the vent here. When was he even over here? Or maybe that's condensation. Okay. Huh. I guess because I got the windows open, getting a little condensation. I was like, how did he get slobber all the way over here? If you've seen any of my other videos where I wash cars, where I detail cars and such, you can probably guess that when I get home, I'm gonna detail the crap out of this interior. He sheds a lot, don't you, buddy? Yeah, that's okay though. We still love you. We all got our issues. The other thing I was really happy that this car had was the upgraded stereo. If you're the type that wants really high quality sound, it can leave a little to be desired. I don't necessarily mean like the bass heads. They're not gonna like any factory stereo, but if you just like really crisp sound, this isn't exactly perfect, but for a factory system, it's good enough, and I didn't want to have to swap it out. Oh, STI. Or WRX with a STI wing. I hope he doesn't notice that we're about to drive past one of his favorite places. Didn't mean to go this way for partly that reason. A lot going on today, so he may not notice it. He's pretty content looking out that window right now. All right, he didn't seem to notice, so. What? I didn't say anything. It is nice to have a manual again. You know, have that third pedal. It is fun. It does give a little bit more to the car. I would have no problem going back to a dual clutch, but it has to be a good dual clutch. You know, something like that was in the Evo, or like I hear like the PDKs and the Porsches are good. Something like that, you know. The ISF had paddle shifts, but it was still a traditional automatic. I don't really want to go back to something like that. I know they're supposedly getting a whole lot better, so I mean, I'm willing to drive one and see, but I don't think I would want that. I still want to be engaged in some way, even if it is technically faster. So I'm definitely glad it has the manual. That makes it a little more fun. Going over some bumps. The suspension is stiffer. It's not crazy though. If you've driven more performance-oriented cars, this really isn't too bad. I know there's like certain spots on the bridge that I go over and different things where in the Evos, I had to make sure I missed them, or it would just sound like the whole car was gonna break. With this, it's like nothing, you know, it's just going over, no big deal. But there's still some good feedback and everything. You could really do without the fake sound. All right, buddy. Yeah, say we don't need fake sound. Buddy, these seats are bigger, but they're not quite big enough for you to try to lay down, unfortunately. sleepy. We went to Cars and Coffee this morning, so he's still a little tired. Gotta get you out on a boat, buddy. Yeah. It's okay, buddy. So overall, the interiors, it's good. I mean, the one biggest complaint I have, and is unfortunate because I have to stare at it often, is the dash. The dash is terrible. It's this like black, I don't know. I mean, it looks like it comes straight out of like an Ecoline van or something, and it pretty much does. It then like changes materials up by the dash a little bit. You can definitely see it. I mean, it's right in your field of vision every time like you look that way. Can't see it so much actually straight ahead. And it's just terrible. I just hate it so much. Other than that, I mean, I can deal with the rest of the, you know, cheap plastics and stuff for how much the car cost. You know, the door parts are pretty good. You know, a lot of the stuff you touch is pretty good. So I'm not complaining too much. And, you know, I came from an Evo, so they're not exactly known for being an S-Class competitor. It's just loving this windshield. Just that full view. It has Apple CarPlay, which I was excited about. The sound quality is good. No. The sound quality is good, but the overall interface I'm kind of losing interest in. It's great when you're using it, but then like if you have an app that's not CarPlay, like Waze, it's just a pain, and then it jumps off the screen. The other thing I don't like is I keep it in night mode all the time, so that way it's a black screen, but even still, it's just so bright. There's no way to just really like turn it off or completely shut it down at night. If you watched my video about trading in the Evo X MR to get this car, you know that I didn't pay anywhere near sticker price. Sticker on this was like 29 something. I think I was like out the door at like 22. Out the door. And now I did have tax credit from the Evo, so if it wasn't for that, I probably had been like 20, almost 24 out the door at that point. If I had to go out today and buy a new car for under 30 grand, and it new, mind you, I still couldn't pick anything better than this, really. Even at sticker price, it's still a really good car. My 2-tier blanket system it's got some quality issues, apparently. Overall, I'm happy with this. You know, we went out to buy a car that was basically under 30 grand. That was fun, had some decent features to it, and we'd be okay with driving for a couple years, and really couldn't imagine picking a different car at this point. For new and having the warranty and all that good stuff, it's good. It's got a decent interior. It's got good seats, good stereo. It's got one touch on all the windows and all that stuff, which is nice. So it's got a lot that you can really live with on a day-to-day basis. German Shepherds fit in it, although granted they fit better in the back. Oh, that's fine. Just knock the dash cam. No big deal. I've got about a half hour before I'm supposed to leave and meet the wife. So I'm going to vacuum this car to death, focusing mostly in this area. Oh, FJ. One touch windows up. I mean 55, obviously. Third gear's where all the power is. Alright, AC back on. It's way too hot. Way better than my Evo 8. And that's not because my car's old, it's just The Evos were never that great. So it's not phenomenal power. I think the official specs are like 270 something wheel. So you figure that's, I don't know, 220, 230. Oh, I'm sorry, 270 something crank. So that's about 220, 230 wheel. It's a whole lot faster than cars we looked at in this price range. That's good parenting there. Just let your kids hang out the back window. Going down the highway at 70 plus miles an hour in traffic. The kids seem nice. I'm also eating in the car, which I never do. My wife will be shocked. But I mean, it's a Cliff Bar, so it doesn't really break apart, and she evidently eats these on the way to work. I found out every morning, so in the car. And I never see any mess, so it seems pretty safe. I just have to eat something. Be here for like an hour and a half. So we're in Florence, Kentucky. Traffic down here is a mess all the time. I worked down here for a long time. What's scary is if you just heard that exhaust in the background, that was a V6 Mustang. Or a EcoBoost Mustang, I mean. Camry just came over. Well, actually it turned out well because the Camry went there. He was the last car to be blocked for the turn lane, so I got to cut in the shortcut. The cops will let you take the shortcut when it backs up too far. Oh, this isn't my spot. Whoops. Oh, should I park in the last row? I'm going this way. Sorry. You got these spots here that are just a little bit wider than the rest. The wife's a pretty good sport about me parking so far away all the time. All right, so I'm gonna go in here and meet the wife. I don't know exactly what we're doing afterwards, but I may have to pick this up tomorrow. We'll see. I don't know yet. I think we can beat her though. Yeah, he's done.
Straight up.
He's had enough. Buddy, you tired? Ball may be life, but wears him out. I fit in the car when I lay down.
Laying down on my belly. Can still see out the window.
That doesn't work in the FJ.
Yeah, I mean, I do have a couple meals, but I am very hungry and I don't feel like cooking.
Yeah. He's going like this, like down the road. He almost hit the curb and stuff. I don't know what he's doing.
Like, was he trying to hit this car?
I don't know.
Because we weren't sticking out.
I just don't know what required all this turning with the steering wheel. Alright, so I hope you guys got some usefulness out of this video. If you're thinking about buying a Focus ST, feel free to hit me up, ask me any questions or concerns you have. If you guys enjoy the car content, if you enjoy hanging out with me and Enzo, definitely subscribe, like the videos if that's your thing. We appreciate it, and we will see you on the next video, right buddy? Say bye-bye. Enzo? Are you camera shy? Enzo? Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye.